Well, hey friends, thanks for tuning into the channel. Les here with Rudimental Gardening. It's a beautiful spring day, good day to start a new project. And today we're going to be putting in a IBC Tote rainwater harvesting system. So I don't have any water access out here, so I have to drag hoses all over the place. So this spring and season, I thought I'd install one of these and get my garden watered more efficiently. So stay tuned. Okay guys, there's been a change of plans. After looking at that area over there where I was going to do it, I decided this might be a better choice over here, even though there's probably more water coming off the roof at that other gutter. I think this one I have enough, and if it doesn't, I'm just going to tie that gutter. I'll run a line all the way down here and put it in the, you know, hook it up to this tank where we have two supplies feeding it. But this corner already had pavers on it. I do need to level it out, so I've pulled up the pavers. This is where it was sitting previously when I was showing it to you. I'm going to extend it out 2 paver length widths, and then that way I can put my cinder blocks on that, and it'll be level and ready to go. So that's the new plan, and Dakota's helping me today. So let's get started. All right, guys, so I had to go back and get some more paper sand base, and I'm going to put this edging around it, and then I can, so it will hold the paper base in, and I can level it a lot easier that way. So that's what we're doing now. Okay, guys, took a little bit. We had some wind, and it's real windy out here right now, so I hope it doesn't hurt the audio. But I finished laying the base, as you can see. I had to go get some sand and fine tune it to get it almost perfect. Got my cinder blocks up here now so that we can elevate the tank. And basically want this as level as possible. And one trick, and I didn't use it here, but one trick you can do is get some shingles. And once you get to this point, if your base isn't completely level or it's settled over a few days, you can get a shingle and put in between here or down here or in between this and the IBC tote and fine tune the level. It needs to be pretty level. I won't say it has to be exactly perfect, but pretty close, because you don't want it to start tilting to one side, right, with all that weight in it. So base is set. Now I just got to set the IBC tote on here, and then we got to hook it up to the gutter. Okay, guys, so I got the tank on, and everything's level. So this is hardest part, really, is get the foundation right and getting your elevated stand somehow, whatever you want to do. People do it different ways. I've seen pallets stacked. I've seen 4x4 shelving created. This is not going to have to be replaced, so it should be able to hold just about any kind of weight. After looking back, the calculated weight for 1,000 liters is 2,200 pounds, so substantial amount of weight. Anyway, now I got to hook the gutter to the intake hole over here, and we'll talk about what I use for the connections and everything that I've used to do this. I'll put links down in the description, so you can get everything off of Amazon. You can get a lot of this stuff at, or you can get everything at your Home Depot or Lowe's. But just so you can see what I've used. Okay, everybody, this is the finished product. I went ahead and put it all together, and quite a few pieces here, but it's not hard to do. I did play around with some different types of connections. In addition to a flexible downspout hose like you see at Home Depot and Lowe's for extending, you know, the downspout so it doesn't go against the foundation. That just didn't have enough support to keep it rigid enough so that the water would travel right. And so I went ahead and got PVC'd for everything, and starting at the top here, coming out the lid, I'll have a little picture of it, but the centerpiece of this cap is threaded. It's a 2-inch threaded piece, and it has a special tool that you use. However, you can just use a wrench, and I have a male MPT 2-inch threaded piece that goes into there, and then I just feed off of that with a T, and then up at the top there, that's the overflow. So if it gets full and it gets high, you know, it's going to fill this up, of course, and then all this will be full, but that will discharge over there. I'm going to extend that and then run a pipe down the side, and then I'll have a hose going out into the driveway in the back here. But this is all 2-inch. I kept it separate. I didn't use one solid piece because if I need to get in here, I want to be able to access it. So I can take all of this apart. None of this is glued, except for the bottom piece here. This is 3-inch pipe, so you got a 2-inch going to a 3-inch, and this is the first flush system. And so the idea is water comes down, fills this up, and all the debris coming off the roof is in here, fills up, directs the water to the tank, and theoretically that water is a lot cleaner than if it had not gone into the first flush system. Flexible downspout, you can get that, you know, it's like $3 going into the 3-inch pipe. And this downspout, I just left the main downspout on the wall and just attached this pipe to it. Now these are heavy duty outdoor ties, but the question is, if this is full of water, is it going to be able to hold it? I think so. I'm going to get a couple of bricks and put underneath there to support it, so I think it'll be okay. But so that's pretty much it. The other piece we need to talk about probably is the valve on these IBC totes. So let me get this accessed, and then we'll talk about that specifically. Okay, so let's talk about the valve a little bit. So there's no standardized valve system for these tanks. So depending on the brand and where it was produced, manufactured, you know, if it's European or Canadian or whatever, they could have different types of valves on here or connections. They all have this main valve, but it's plastic, okay? So theoretically, if it's plastic, you know it's going to wear out sooner or later. So typically you want this to stay on, and you're going to have another bib to use that you actually turn off and on. So that's what I'm going to do, but let me take this off. This particular one, let me unhook these real quick. these just unhook and this thing slides off. So there are some threads on this particular one, but this is a cam lock type connector. So even though it has a few threads here, there's not enough threads there to get a real good seal. If you had something threaded, it's a kind of a, I think it's called a buttress connection. And it's a little confusing when you start looking at what you need to connect these things, because some of them have a regular 2-inch MPT thread, which is very nice. So you can just get another piece that screws onto there, a pipe. But that wasn't the case here. So this is a, this particular one, it's called a gator lock. And there's another one called Banjo that you can get off of Granger. And so you just make sure you know which connection you need to make this work right. So this is just a piece of PVC that screws in there, which allows me to connect from this. And I'm going to put a ball valve on here that I can just open and close from here instead of using this. This will stay on the whole time. So it's a female 2-inch MPT thread. This just screws right on. And I'll tighten that down with some Teflon tape, but this just slides on and then it locks down. And these have little pins that lock, and that's on there really good. And we have had a little rain. I got about 25 gallons in here right now. So anyway, this can be a little tricky and frustrating if you don't know which one to get. There's several connectors. There's about 5 different types. One other thing I wanted to mention about this cover is I've been pretty pleased with it. It doesn't seem to be extremely thick, but it does stop the heat and the sun from getting in there. I came out this afternoon about 4:30 or 5, where we get blasted by the sun over here. And it was 80, 81 degrees. And I opened this up and that tank was cool. So it does block the light in the UV. So it has a Velcro flap on the top, and I just cut down the middle, and so I could get my pipe through there. I made a slit, and it Velcros on all sides. So I'll keep an eye on that. Since this isn't sealed on the bottom, if water leaks through there, it's just going to run off anyway. So the other thing that people do is wrap the tanks, and if you looked at any of those videos, you just get black plastic wrap from the big box store, and you unfold it. You'd have to take your tank out of the cage, and then you wrap it like a Christmas present. And I really didn't want to do that. I just didn't want to mess with it. So I saw this cover. It's not real expensive. I'll put it in the comments below. So check it out if you're interested in that. The only thing I can think of is wind could get up underneath it, and it wouldn't blow it off because it's going to stop it, with the pipes on there and everything. But I could put a guide wire and punch a hole in it and run it underneath and just have some weight on it to keep it down, so the wind, won't make it want to fly off, and it would stay on. So something I might do. So anyway, wanted to show you that. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.